Hello, welcome to the Strange Scaffold Cool Things Club. I am Chris Slight, the head of creative marketing here at Strange Scaffold, and it has been a month here at Strange Scaffold. It's been a month. We have had GDC, where a number of people, some that you've heard on this podcast, gave talks. We've also had PAX East, where our studio head Xalavier was the keynote storytime speaker and gave a really it made me tear up. Like it was a very good speech, and it's on their YouTube channel. It's on PAX's YouTube channel, so you'll be able to check it out there. Worth looking at. We've also had Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator come out on the Xbox, so it's a big month. It's a big month. There's been a lot of cool things, and speaking of cool things, I am a cool guy. Let's get into the show. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, for our audio listeners that are at home, they can't see how small Xalavier now is to our eyes. And
he's nose up. That's all we got.
Mm-hmm. He's just a little guy.
And I'll stay nose up in protest.
Basically, Xalavier has, which many people do, has a tiny treadmill. I say tiny. That's needlessly diminutive of the treadmill. It might be a normal size. I haven't seen it. He has a treadmill.
It's a tightrope. He just has to be really careful the whole time.
Under his desk. And we began, and Xalavier was treadmilling, and I suggested that for a podcast, perhaps people wouldn't. Even Xalavier, himself, when listening to it back, may not enjoy the sounds of a man
quietly working out.
Yeah, quietly working out. And it's like, I can remove it.
Passively working out. Passively improving oneself.
Well,
These are the things we would hate to hear in modern society because we're a corrupt country.
We want you to get slightly worse throughout this podcast.
I mean, it does happen every time.
Xalavier's taken that quite personally because it turns out, what did you have to do to install the treadmill again?
I had to remove the full upper body apparatus. It looks like I've sawed the treadmill in half, and that means I need to dismount and sit uncomfortably squished between the stuff that has been stored in this room because I have a child, and the child, again, also ambiently spreads through the house, consuming every bit of storage space because he grows at an immense rate. Things get put in here, and I'm just in my little squeezy stack.
You're in the squeezy stack
for your audio quality
I
listeners.
prefer the squeezy stack to the pain box.
Oh yeah, much preferable to the pain box.
Stack.
For anyone that's watched our Devs Down the Line videos, you will be aware of the pain box, and that's a much more existential thing than this. But now that you know this, listeners, I'm giving you the audio choice. There will now be an option on your screen. There are two tracks. One, Xalavier is walking. The other, Xalavier is stationary but sad. So these are your choices. We have to do the podcast twice, but it's going to be
one must imagine Sisyphus happy. I'm hijacking the introduction now, by the way, Chris. Welcome to the Strange Scaffold Cool Things Club. I'm not Chris. I'm Xalavier, studio head over at Strange Scaffold. And I'm joined today by my usual co-hosts, Chris Slight, head of creative marketing, and Candace Hudert of studio production.
Is this my punishment?
You hit it.
I'm no longer the host. Like, that's...
You're still the host, but I'm uncomfortably goblining, like holding directly onto the back of your seat, leaning over, speaking into the microphone. And today our special guest is... No, absolutely not. And today our special guest is Dora Breckinridge, who's been doing a bunch of release management for the studio, really helping the entire production arm, and has recently become the lead producer on one of our most exciting upcoming unannounced titles. Hi, Dora.
Hi, Xalavier. Hi, crew. Happy to be here.
Welcome,
Hi,
Dora. Welcome to the chaos.
Everyone brings in something they're passionate about and just talks about it, how it's impacted their creative practice, what they do, and how they do it. I've got a thing today,
He's
but
so mad at
I'm
you,
gonna hand
Chris.
over.
He's so mad at
I'm
you.
not enjoying this energy. Like,
He's so mad.
But
This is
my voice-
crazy.
How can I be so mad if my voice is so calm and even?
That's
I
not what
don't
that sounds
know, but-
like.
yeah, you're managing it. It's a weird vibe like that we're in. No, I'm not.
Now that I've introduced the podcast, let me pass you over to our host, the wonderful, incomparable Chris Slight. How you doing, Chris?
Good, thank you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a podcast where there is a nice energy. We're all happy and we're having a
Very
good time.
normal.
We're nose up.
We're nose up. Here we are. Nose up is a great phrase.
Means
Xalavier,
nothing.
you can stand up and walk if it will make your life. If you will actually be more comfortable, it's not a problem. I know you now won't out of pure rage and spite, but the option is available to you. I would
Get his
rather
ass.
that.
Get his whole
Like,
ass.
But
I do have an ergonomic chair in the squeezy stack, so
Okay.
that at least helps.
squeezed but ergonomic is all we can ask for in these times. Now, as Xalavier mentioned, we talk about cool things, and this month, Dora, we're joined by yourself. Xalavier mentioned what you do here at the Scaffold, but would you like to introduce yourself a little, talk about what you've done before and then what you do here? Because release management is maybe a thing that people don't know much about. It's something that doesn't get discussed much, I feel, with people in the public. So what do you do, Dora?
What did you do?
Yeah. What do? Largely, a lot of what I do comes down to spreadsheets, templates, and schedules.
Yeah, baby.
Pardon me. So, for anybody listening who might not know, typically what a release manager does is keep a lot of the deadlines and forms and submissions and everything running behind the scenes so that producers and game developers who are the engineers and everybody else can just do the hard work of actually making the game, which is the bulk of it. And my job is to come in at the end and handle things like platform submission to Nintendo's lot check or, Xbox's certification service, coordinating with marketing, getting all the assets and everything up in there, all that fun jazz. Typically requires ticking a lot of boxes, filling out a lot of information, white knuckling a lot of deadlines a lot of the time behind the scenes. And, as far as my background goes, I have a little bit, I suppose, of an esoteric background. I originally got my start in indie games journalism an entire lifetime ago. And from there, I moved into production and publishing. I've worked on a bunch of games over my career, including some you might have known, like In Stars and Time. I'm actually working with the developer in Circus 5 on their next game, upcoming Truth Scrapper.
So excited.
Worked on Bear and Breakfast, a lot of games like The Last Stand, Aftermath, and everything. And just really earning the senior and senior producer as far as the title I've had a bunch of the time. So.
Dude, those
That's
are some
me.
brilliant games for a start, to
yeah.
have as credits. I love that you followed a path that I know Xalavier has, that I know I have, that I know Amanda has, that I know a bunch of us has, which is games journalism into there's no money in games journalism. So what else can I do? And now here we are.
So many
it's
people,
like-
especially here at Strange Scaffold, come from that journalism background, and I think it's so valuable. It's so good.
Also, that's not fully the path of everyone. Some people have creative ambitions they wish to fulfill, as do I. But a big part of it is there's no money in games journalism,
Especially
and it's
not right
shrinking
now.
and dying. Please, what do I do? And here we are.
There's a world where I think a lot of us would have happily stayed in games journalism if we had. And a lot of us were trying to build towards a future where people could stably have careers in media and criticism that helped. Shepherd is a big word, but I do think when you look at the impact of someone like a Roger Ebert, which is what a lot of people in the medium talk about, of we don't have a Roger Ebert, we don't have these icons of sort of discussion and discourse around film that really help it mature by providing that long-lasting perspective. But yeah, as you said, Chris, the money isn't there. It's pretty much perpetually priced at being something that you do as a college kid. and the stability of those outlets. Back when I did freelancing, I think almost every single place that I freelanced for has had, if not major layoffs, closed. And that totally erodes the ability for someone to stay there for a long time and see it as like my career.
And treat it as a discipline and whatnot that journalism and criticism needs and deserves. There are still people out there doing it, which I am forever grateful for, but it is sadly an ever dwindling part. Even just recently, a lot of the video staff and staff in general at Eurogamer were all laid off, and those were some like legendary people in the game that were laid off. It's a sad time.
I want to push back on that framing slightly. It's not dwindling.
Please.
It's not dying back. It's being killed.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would agree. I'm being
Very well put.
Yeah.
not. I'm
No, I know
trying
that's
not
not
be
to
provocative.
you specifically. Why?
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, true.
Fuck
It
them.
is.
Stop killing all the media we love.
Yeah, I'd rather we didn't. But we're not there. And I will say, Dora, you mentioned the things you do on release management. And I know I've described a lot of what I do sometimes as like, oh, it's spreadsheets and it's... But I know from being even a part of trying to do release management, and I think all of us have been a part of trying to do some sort of aspect of release management.
Yes.
The difficulty, the esoteric knowledge that you require in order to do these things, the patience and the good communicative ability to work with big companies that can be confusing as living with 12 spiders and trying to identify one of their webs.
That classic
And-
conundrum. Yeah.
Yeah, they've all made a
I'm
web in
always
one
thinking
room.
about
and,
my 12
but
spiders.
They're like,
I
look at
know.
my web. And you're like, but they all look like one web. I can't discern. Like, it's
love
too
spiders.
difficult.
I love
You navigate that amazingly, and you turning up has been such a huge win and boon
Oh my God,
for the company.
seriously. I mean, it's made
Yeah.
my brain work better. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So it's a
happy to
vital
help.
part. Like, it's a vital part of game development. We all discovered, like, over years, where we were like, how is this? And then you just came in and was like, okay, I'm just, it all works. And we already know how complicated it is. So it's like, this is amazing. So yeah, that in and of itself is much more commendable and worthy of note than you sold it initially. So thank you for that. I just know, like, I know I do the same. Like when I used to do live stream production, I described it as moving a computer from one room to another and plugging it in and unplugging it and then doing that again.
You're not
And it was like,
wrong.
that's my job. And it was a similar thing where you go, actually, it does require a fair level of expertise.
I guess there's some skill involved.
There
I
is.
know.
Yeah. So yeah, we're forever grateful for you being here and doing that. And I guess the next question is then, what is the cool thing you have brought to the Cool Things Club?
Oh, we're starting with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Take us away.
Yeah. So, it's kind of interesting that we're started out by talking a bit about journalism, because the thing that I have brought into this room and this call is actually a title that I reviewed many, many years ago. And so the site that I used to work for predominantly reviewed indie games and browser games, and a lot of the ways that we got those was by user submission. And one day I woke up and I had a bunch of emails from people telling me about a game called Candy Box. And Candy Box, yep, this was way back in 2013, and it was created by one person. It was a French computer science student who went by the name of Anyway, and it was made in JavaScript. So you can still play this game, and you can play it in your browser, which is one of the reasons why I'm going to be a little cagey about talking about some of the mechanics going forward. And you might think maybe it's silly not to want to spoil a 13-year-old game, but so much of what makes Candy Box great is the surprise. And if you haven't played that, I really want anybody who hears this to have as much of that experience as possible. So Candy Box is one of the big first incremental idle games, if not the first, and it was cited as one of the main inspirations on a little game you might have heard of called Cookie Clicker that is still around and swallowing the world. Yeah, that old thing. Candy Box is very simple and does a lot with very little. It starts out with a blank screen and a ticker that goes up, gives you 1 candy every second or thereabouts. And at the beginning, you have 2 options that show up. It says eat all the candies, or you can throw 10 candies on the ground when you have that amount. And that's it. And initially, these don't seem to do anything. You might think that the game is broken or a gag, especially because all of this is rendered in just text and ASCII graphics. But if you're patient, however, and you're able to start experimenting with things, there is a lot more going on under the hood. So as you reach certain threshold of candies, letting this game run by itself in a tab, or if you're a true sicko like me, while you're sitting there watching it, waiting for something else to pop up, things begin to happen. A merchant will pop up and he will sell you lollipops that also appear to have no purpose initially. He will sell you a sword. He will also take candies, and if you save up to buy the sword with those candies, you'll notice some new additions to the UI, like an inventory button and a quest button. And from there, the game really starts to open up even more. You kind of get the idea that you have to wait for certain objectives, that you need to try different things with its different mechanics. And Candy Box rewards you for that in really clever ways. The game kind of took over the site that I was writing for at the time, which was called Jaya's Games when it first came out. There were 2 camps of people. There were the people who played it and didn't really get what was going on and thought that we were all sort of like bullshitting one another. Like, no, trust us, there's something really cool going on in here. And there were the people that had been willing to be a bit patient for it, been willing to kind of click around and see what they could find out. And it really ended up lighting the internet on fire in a big way. It won a bunch of awards. It won a bunch of really big, really flattering articles from sites like Kotaku and Yahoo and Rock Paper Shotgun and everything back in the day. And it was successful enough that actually later that same year, the developer came out with Candy Box 2. One of the reasons why I really like Candy Box is that it forces you to try different things with its mechanics, and it rewards you for those things in really clever ways. You are always sort of thinking that, like, if you just wait a little bit longer, if that candy hoard gets a little bit bigger, you'll unlock something new, some new option.
A good
will pop
incremental
up.
game. There we go.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And it's important to say, again, you can still play this in your browser. There are no microtransactions, no purchases, nothing like that. We love to see it. And
video games, I remember.
I remember that too, back in the day. And, that interface is very sparse, aside from being rendered with that very simple ASCII art, including that merchant I mentioned, who I'm pretty sure is like a rendition of one of the earlier incarnations of Doctor Who that was just lifted from somewhere else entirely.
Sure,
why not?
Classic.
Yeah, it's free. And it's on the internet.
I'm playing it right now. That does look like Tom Baker, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah, see? And to me, one of the things that is great about Candy Box, and the reason why that it has stuck with me all these years, is it is a game that exemplifies how working within constraints can really yield some wonderful creativity. Like, I read an interview with the developer who unfortunately doesn't seem to have much of an online presence anymore, but he said that one of the reasons why that he made the game the way he was he knew he wasn't a great artist. So this interface let him focus solely on the gameplay aspect of it. It let him iterate on it really fast. If he wanted to add a new mechanic or new gameplay, he didn't have to go over and knock on the door of a theoretical art department and make some poor artist cry by asking them to redo some whole new asset. And I think that that spirit of creativity and innovation was one of the things that made those early days of browser gaming really, really great. Like, obviously, everyone talks about Flash gaming a lot for good reason. There were some wonderful things that came out of there, wonderful people as well who have gone on for the industry. Shout out John Cooney, a good friend of mine who's still kicking around.
Hell yeah, John Cooney.
Heck yeah, John Cooney. But Candy Box is like a good example where even if you were somebody who, as the developer said, couldn't make your own graphics, you weren't like this, super incredible writer or anything, it really shows that the barrier to actually get in and make something that is compelling and memorable and different is very, very low if you're willing to be a little bit weird and think outside the box with it. And one of the reasons I like it is there are no instructions. There's no clear objective. You can say the game is honestly a little bit obtuse. You need to spend a lot of time waiting and letting the game run while you go about your day. But, it gets bigger and bigger as you unlock more things. And I just really don't think that there has been anything quite like it before or since for a lot of different reasons.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you'd got the assignment perfectly in terms of the cool thing. As soon as you started, I was like, French computer scientist makes game in back in the time that I remember. And secondly, that what you're describing is like that perfect a thing, like you say, obtuse, but in that way where you really feel like it's done so well that you feel like you're uncovering a thing.
Yeah.
Like look at all this complexity that's within this that I never expected at all.
It's that kind of intentionality. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly that. And like you say, it's that time where you will end up sitting there doing this for hours purely because you're like, well, if I just... there will be something else because there keeps being something else indeterminate amounts of time.
Absolutely. And I mean, another thing that I think is admirable about it and relevant to today is I think that if you tried to make this game today, people, and especially a potential publisher, might try to sand off too much of the friction around it.
Yeah.
And, to be clear, I am all for walkthroughs and hints if you get stuck. I think that's fantastic. But I more mean a broader industry and player tendency to say that if you spend any time that is stuck or confused or waiting, like the game has failed, and you should always have an idea of exactly where you need to go next and what you have to do to accomplish that. And I think that sort of pushback around design can potentially keep you from experiencing some really clever gameplay and lead to some really cool innovation. Like, obviously, if we didn't have Candy Box, we wouldn't have Cookie Clicker. And if we didn't have Cookie Clicker, we wouldn't have intergalactic eldritch grandmas baking cookies for us in factories.
Yeah. There is nothing more powerful than an aha moment most of the time. Like, if you feel like you're confused or you're being tricked or something's happening and then you figure it out yourself, that's one of the most addictive feelings around. Like, that feeling of, oh, I understand now. And yeah, like you say, you miss that by making it easy to get to that point all of the time. Like, it's definitely a balance. I completely agree. Like, accessibility is important. I've recently been playing Devil May Cry 5. I've never played a Devil May Cry because I thought you had to be good at combos and you had to be good. Turns out it's really camp and fun, and also you can put it on easy and it's fine. Like,
so you came in for the perfect time for that, because Devil May Cry 1 actually kind of like that. Devil May Cry 2, a little bit weird, but it actually kind of does some of this stuff. Devil May Cry 3, when they were like formalizing what's a character action game, holds you down and kicks you in the teeth over and over again.
Here we are.
It is aggressively built for only the very top level of players, and Devil May Cry 4 still carries a lot of that. And so my two favorite Devil May Cry games are Devil May Cry 1 and 5, because 5 goes, you know what? A lot of people want to see this guy be a little freak with a hat. He puts on a hat and he dances around and he kills the demons at the same time. More people should be able to play that. And that felt really, really good to be able to lock in on that again and not have... not feel like the game was built for an invisible player who was seen to be on a different plane of existence than I am.
Yeah, not me, and it was almost my cool thing this month. So because I only started playing it over the last few days, but I'm in love with that game. But to the point of that, you can achieve those things, like you say, without compromising what your core thing is, and it really sounds like this does it in that way. Like, I've not played this one, so I am, the fact that you still can is incredibly exciting in and of itself. Like, I played Cookie Clicker, obviously, but and that was an odyssey in and of itself. But like, yeah, I love this kind of stuff, like Flash games, like that whole era. Like, Newgrounds is probably something that is incredibly upsetting and problematic were I to look at it now as an adult, but
it's
as a
interesting
teenager,
revisiting. It's a definite energy.
Interesting.
Yes, exactly. As a teenager, though, with a group of friends that were like, we can make Flash animations, we can make games, we can put music on here. Oh, wow. Like, it was amazing. So it was, that spirit is also very exciting to me. So, yeah, this sounds amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, when you mention the fact that you can still play it, I think that's another reason why games preservation is so hugely important.
Yeah.
Like, I know so many developers from that era who, or even just have had really long careers that have made, like, the smaller freeware indie games and things like that, that those games just aren't accessible anymore. They can't be played. The software has stripped them. They can't be found and downloaded anywhere. So, keep on uploading things to Internet Archive, keep on, keeping these games and everything around because they deserve to be played. And especially, Candy Box itself. When the sequel came out later that same year, again, like a couple months in between releases, which is an incredibly short time frame. I didn't really have a great concept for how much of a fast turnaround that was when I was in journalism, but now in production, oh my gosh, how did they do that? Makes me sweat a bit just thinking about it. And it is a game that is, in some ways, sort of makes the original Candy Box feel a little bit like an alpha state, because Candy Box 2 is very iterative in the things a lot of it does. It is a lot more accessible in that it sort of eases you into the things that happen right away and clues you into what's going on. And it, I think, got a bit of a unfair reaction from some people, because while it did still get a lot of widespread critical acclaim, as it should have, it also still got a lot of people who I think came into it from the perspective of like, well, yeah, of course you wait for candies to accumulate and you spend those candies on things. Been there, done that. And, when you look at Candy Box 2, it has so much more content. It's got so much more complicated puzzles and, surprise, spoiler alert, I suppose, combat and encounters and, like RPG mechanics and everything in it. And it is a really remarkable accomplishment. But I think because it came so close to the original and follows that original's formula in a lot of ways, some of that initial spark of surprise, the delight was worn off because you sort of knew what you were getting into. But I think that there is a lot of enjoyment to be found as a player in getting the next, evolution of something that you already love, even if it is very similar to the base mechanics, and seeing a developer, in that case, in that very short time frame, evolve in real time, taking in all the incredible amount of feedback and criticism he was getting to really flesh out a lot of its mechanics, a lot of its content, and try so many new and different things. So well, I think that the original Candy Box, as comparatively simple as it is still sort of just this wonderful delight of an experience on its own. I think people should absolutely go and still play Candy Box 2, which is also still playable. Thank you, video game preservationists, and see what that is, what that is like, especially if you make video games. I think I see a lot of studios and publishers these days who say that you need to have these AAA graphics and ray tracing and huge investment backing and everything to stand out. And while it's true that times have absolutely changed in many ways since 2013, I don't think that's universally true. And I think Candy Box is cool because it was made for fun by somebody who wasn't a master artist or engineer or multi-million dollar studio and wasn't trying to chase the algorithm or whatever. And that's where I think you can find some of the real joy and innovation, and why Candy Box is my cool thing this week.
It's a damn cool
If you
thing.
loved Candy Box as well, my Candy Box was a dark room.
Yes.
Okay, so
dark
you're
room?
aware
I
of
thought
it.
that was a
Oh, yes.
statement. Sorry. I was like, what? Like,
There's a game called a dark room. You
Got
start
it.
with like one button, and then you click on that button, and then more buttons reveal, and then a merchant comes in. And I was hearing Dora's description. I was like, Am I crazy? Did I actually play a game called Candy Box? No, it turns out I don't know if it was people who thought of things at a similar time, or because it established such a repeatable template. Candy Box came out in April. Dark Room came out in June.
Whoa.
Same year. So either they got inspired by, or they just both two separate people in the world happened to be thinking about a thing. But a Dark Room enchanted me for similar reasons to how you got enchanted by Candy Box.
Cool.
And I had no idea that there was another game like that out there. So I get to play Candy Box now. I get to because one of the few games I wish I could play for the first time again is a Dark Room. When you've revealed and brushed the dust off of this wonderful little cursed box of pain and pleasure, then you know it, and it is beautiful, and you can appreciate it for what it is, but you can't discover it for the first time again. So
Yeah,
thanks for
it's-
introducing.
Of course.
us.
Yeah, and I think the last thing I suppose I'll say is, if you are a dev and you're listening to this, don't be afraid to let your players fuck around a little and throw themselves against walls until something happens from time to time, because that's where the real magic happens.
Oh, yeah.
absolutely agreed.
Amazing.
It's that also just comes from that. I think another common thread that seems to come through a lot of us that work here is that particular time being a real cradle of what we've all gone on to continue to love about indie development and video games, and that fascination of there's these people, and people can just make games now. You don't have to be Xbox, like you don't have to be Sega, like
Is this
you can.
allowed?
Yeah, it's like you can just like a dude can do a thing and I can play it, and it's weird and strange in a way that wouldn't be allowed on my Dreamcast. Like this is crazy. So yeah, big fan of that. I am going to move on, however, to myself, who I am, and I'm going to talk about a TV show that was another of the seminal TV shows for me in the UK. It's a show called Red Dwarf, which you may have heard of thanks now to the internet, as it's
Rings
gone.
a bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it's one of my favorite shows of all time. It's a comedy show. It's a sitcom in its very basic premise, but it is a sci-fi sitcom, and it is a British sci-fi sitcom that began in 1988. I think
Wow.
he says, going back to all the stuff he wrote down in 1988. And it was written by two people, Rob Grant and Doug Naylor. And I first saw it. I was looking at when it was released. I will have first seen it around its fourth or fifth series, which would have been like 1992, 1993. Like I was a child. I was very, very lucky in that my parents both loved comedy and had a massive degree of faith in what I could understand and would be capable of watching. So I was watching comedies that were on at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night in the UK, and I was like 11 or 10 years old, and I was watching these things that were definitely meant for adults.
Oh, yeah.
But they were all watched by my parents as well. So like I would get to see all these amazing things. A big bonus of that is that particularly when I was like 10 or 11, nobody I knew was allowed to watch these things, which meant I could just do bits from TV shows and people just thought they were my jokes. It was amazing.
Classic.
I can literally remember just acting an entire part out of from Red Dwarf, and it was stood on stairs, so I was as if I was on a stage in front of 3 girls I was apparently trying to impress by pretending I was a character from Red Dwarf, and just thinking this is the best moment of my 10-year-old life. Look at them laughing as I stand here, with what seems as if it's my own material. But Red Dwarf is a show that is set in deep space on the mining ship Red Dwarf, and it's a very low budget looking BBC show from 1988. The graphics are not amazing, but there is a lot of effort put into them. When you watch, they do a big long shot of the ship at the beginning, and you can see this is the kit bash kind of ethos very much. Because they're doing a close up on it, you can really see that's what that is, and they've just made an ugly looking octagon lump with weird black lumps all over it, and it's not an attractive ship. The show literally begins with a shot of a man painting the red on the ship outside, where the words Red Dwarf are written, and it pans out.
Good. Ideal.
Yeah, it's great. The very first episode, you're introduced to the 2 main characters, Dave Lister and Arnold Rimmer. And Dave Lister is very much a cool guy, but also a slob, a person that has no care for his job, whereas Arnold Rimmer is very much an uptight, we must do everything by the rules and everything must be done correctly in our spaceship important job that we have. However, they are probably the 2 lowest ranking people on the entire mining ship. It begins with them carrying out their task. Rimmer is just slightly above Lister in terms of rank, but Lister describes it later as that where we have these jobs because the mechanoid robots have a better union than we do. That's the only reason they're doing it. And it's all right, okay, that sets it up perfectly. And they get to their station, and their job is unclogging a food machine to make sure that when the Admiral orders his chicken soup, he gets chicken soup. And because if they don't get that right, imagine the disorder that could happen. According to Rimmer, the Admiral's so off-put that the whole ship's at risk. But obviously, none of this actually matters. But to Rimmer, it's incredibly important. To Lister, it's not. He's just there to earn some money so he can live his dream, which is getting an island on Fiji, which Rimmer points out due to a volcanic eruption at the point that they're in. You're never quite sure where this happens, but Fiji is 3 feet underwater. And Lister says, yeah, that's why it's so cheap. That's why I can afford to get an island there. And I'm going to have a farm, and I'm going to have a cow and a sheep, and I'm going to breed horses.
Oh, okay.
And he says,
What a life.
with the cow and the sheep? No, with horses and horses.
Okay.
Rimmer would love Stardew Valley.
He'd love it. This is Lister, who wants the farm with the cow and the sheep. Rimmer wants to become an officer more than anything, and it sets this up in the first episode because he is cheating to pass his officer's exam, which involves him writing all the answers on his arms, on his thighs, or anywhere on his body. He can just hand write answers onto himself. That's what he's doing. Because according to Lister, the last time he took the exam, he wrote, I am a fish 400 times and then passed out. So it didn't go well for him.
I am a fish. Okay, yeah, got it.
Rimmer explaining that he doesn't have the breeding and the background to just become an officer and just know the right people at school to become one. He has to work really hard. But it becomes apparent as it goes along that Rimmer is just as incompetent as Lister. They're both shit at their job. It's just Rimmer really gets on Lister about doing it properly. There's a moment where during their repairing, a sergeant comes by And again, this is a mining ship. This is all you're ever told. You're not really told specifically too much. They work for the Jupiter Mining Corporation, and that's basically all you know. I don't know what they mine or how the ship works or anything. It's just, it's a mining ship. So it's not an important ship necessarily. But an officer comes by and he says, oh, Rimmero's looking to find you. You've put in 200 written reports about Lister, 100 or so of them for insubordination, and one of them for mutiny. And he's like, what's the one for mutiny about? And he maliciously jumped off his bunk and landed on my toe. And if I had to complete my duties in an emergency situation, I wouldn't have been able to. Therefore, it was mutiny in that moment.
Sabotage, yeah.
Yeah, Lister explains that he was trying to break his guitar, which is why he jumped off of the bed to stop him, and he accidentally landed on his toe. And he's trying to get along with him, but Rimmer is such a smeghead, which is a phrase which was born from the show.
Oh my gosh.
That he can't. What can he do? And Rimmer's saying to the officer, so you see what I'm dealing with. And he's like, oh, Rimmer, you are a smeghead. And Lister laughs. And like Lister at this time is also like, Rimmer's stood there to attention, like to the sergeant, while Lister's eating a small pie out of a little tin, and he's put the cigarette he was smoking just in his ear, like while he's talking to someone. It's like Lister looks like very dirty. He's got like dreads. Like he's just a guy that doesn't look like he cares, whereas Rimmer all buttoned up and like more perfect than the officer that comes by, like is how he's dressed. Like even though he's like I think they're junior technician grade 2 and 3, which is like Lister's 3 or Rimmer's 2. And it's like not important people. As the episode goes on, however, it turns out Lister has smuggled a cat aboard the ship. And
Relatable.
you are not meant to have a cat aboard Red Dwarf, because if you pick up a cat on Titan, the captain explains to him, it could be full of all sorts of parasites or anything that could end up with the whole ship dead. So you need to give the cat to me. And he says, well, what are you going to do with the cat if I give it to you? And he goes, I'm going to have it taken down to the medical center. We're going to cut it open and perform tests on it and find out if there's anything wrong with it. Well, will you put the cat back together when you're done with it? And he goes, no, Lister, it will be dead. And he's like, well, I just don't see there's a lot in it for the cat at this point. It's like, so, which is funny in and of itself. Rimmer goes to take his exam and sits down, starts rolling up his arm to start cheating. And it's just a smudge. Like, as he's rolling up, it's just a big smudge. And he does this reaction of, like, looking up to the ceiling in pain, like, ah, like, as soon as he realizes it's just a smudge. And he's got all the ink over his hand. And he sort of takes a breath, slams his hand down onto the the blank sheet of paper for the exam, which is a big ink handprint. He signs it, stands up, does the most extravagant salute that involves, like, twisting his arm and putting it to his head, and then just collapses. And that was him attempting to do the exam.
So there's been a lot of, I was just going to say, there's been a lot of parody, like, sci-fi shows over the years. Outside of, based off of the timeline, being one of the first, what really made Red Dwarf stand out to you is like, oh, this is magic.
So, the then twist that goes on from there. Lister put into stasis. So he's suspended in time until the voyage is over in 18 months because his punishment, because he will not give up the cat. So he's put into 18 months. It's literally, he waves, it freezes, he finishes waving, the door opens. Like, it's safe to come out now, Dave. He walks out. He's like, could you come to the bridge, please? He's walking around. Where is everyone? I can't see anyone. There's just all these piles of dust everywhere. And I wrote this quote down because it's funny. Where is everybody, Hol? Holly is the name of the ship computer. It says, they're dead, Dave. Who is? Everybody, Dave. What? Captain Hollister? Everybody's dead, Dave. Todd Hunter? Everybody's dead, Dave. What? Selby? They're all dead. Everybody's dead, Dave. Peterson? He isn't dead, is he? Everybody is dead, Dave. Not Chen.
I've had this conversation with someone, I think.
Gordon Bennett, yes, Chen, everybody's dead, Dave. Rimmer, he's dead, Dave. Everybody is dead. Everybody is dead, Dave. Wait, are you trying to tell me everybody's dead? So, I wish I'd never let him out in the first place. And then he gets to the top, he finds out there was a faulty drive plate installation, which meant that the ship was flashed with radiation. Everybody instantly died. All the little weird piles of dust he's been finding is the crew. And everyone's dead. And how long have I been in there, Holly? 3 million years. He's like, 3 million years? He's like, yeah, 3 million years. But don't worry, we've brought back someone as a hobby. I can sustain one hologrammatic person. I've brought someone back. I looked in your files. This is the person you seem to have the most interactions with. So I've brought them back. And in walks Rimmer, who is the one other living being that he now lives with forever.
Are you telling me that Red Dwarf put Toxic Yowie into sci-fi in the 90s?
Heck yeah.
So you now have, I think they did,
Taking
like,
that
is it
word
The
away
Odd
from
Couple,
you.
the American? Yeah, they say it's like The Odd Couple in space. It's kind of how they set it up, and now you have them to 3 million years into the future. Like they are so far from Earth that it's an impossibility that they will ever get back, like to the planet. And even if they did, it's 3 million years in the future. Like, who knows? Everything and everyone is long gone. And what really sets it apart is one, just the humor of it. It's a comedy at its core. What it is a comedy, but also it does a lot with its premise, in that we are 3 million years in the future and there's nobody except one human, a hologram, and we discover Lister's cat, who has, over the course of 3 million years, evolved into a cat man, who just a man who has he's an actor called Danny John Jules, who is wearing like almost sort of a pink zoot suit, big pompadour hair. He's like putting on a cool American accent. And that is the descendant of his cat 3 million years after he left. When the cat was pregnant, it had kittens, they all interbred, and now 3 million years, here we are now. It's exactly as you would imagine. A cat may well be, were it a person, but in the most extravagant form of what a cat is. It's very bothered about fashion. It doesn't want to have a crease on its body anywhere. He walks around, and this was a thing that was actually confirmed, put forward as a theory and confirmed by the creators of the show. In the first episode, he's walking around with a little bottle that looks like a perfume bottle and spraying things and going, mine, that's mine as well, as he sprays it. And someone just put to him something I'd never thought, is that piss? And because that's what cats do. And the writer was like, yes, that's what that is. It's a small bottle of piss that he's spraying around and saying
atomizer.
Yeah, it's a little atomizer of urine. And he's like, that's mine. I own that now.
You know, I've never watched this show, first of all, but I've had it recommended to me a ton. Everybody always says, like, Dora, this is your jam, you should watch it. And can confirm, having listened to that. And I think what is interesting about hearing your description is, in some ways, it adds a lot of context to some very confusing screenshots I've seen. But in other ways, I am now much more confused than I was when I started.
It evolves so much more from there. It becomes like the first series, I would say, the first and second series have a very different tone to as it moves along. It becomes a much snappier comedy, and because it became incredibly popular, so it got more and more of a budget. And you would watch it now and even if you watched it at the time in America, you would probably watch it and go, this doesn't look like it's got a lot of budget. But for a British TV show, it was like, this is now look at this, like the upgrade. But it became a lot snappier, and you would have all these different stories. Like there's a really good one that comes to the top of my head, which is they land on a planet which is completely overrun by, or not overrun, but has been left with android waxworks of people throughout history. And what has happened over 3 million years is that all the waxwork animatronics of good people are being slowly killed by all the waxwork animatronic bad people. And it's all the bad people of history. So it's like Hitler and Stalin, and then like versus Gandhi and Elvis, like the good guys. Rimmer goes to that world and essentially ruins it by trying to live his army dreams with like Gandhi and all these other robots. And I won't spoil it, but it doesn't go well. And it's you get a lot of episodes like that, and they meet a robot Crichton who becomes a main character. He's an android, and they meet him via a distress call. Please come down. My ship crashed, and it's me and these 3 lovely ladies, and I take care of them, and that's what please come and help us. And he's like, oh, hello, I'm Crichton. First series, Crichton's very different to when he comes back. He's American when he returns, which is odd, because the actor's not American, but he's very British butler in the first series. And they have not seen anything female for quite a long time, so they're incredibly excited to go down there. Cat in particular, who talks about having sex all the time, and yet because he is the last cat, they all died. He's never even actually seen a female of his species once. So he's like, he's got no
is he
idea.
The only cat like this in the universe? Because they got exposed to radiation. Like
they did.
No one else.
There's such a great episode of that as well, where you learn.
Like, don't worry, we got this.
Lore.
Yeah, you learn the ancient religion of the cat people who worship Cloister, who is going to take them to the promised land. And it's not Cloister, it's Lister. And their promised land is just him talking to his cat about how they were going to get the island on Fiji as his dream. But they think that's a planet that they're all destined to go to, and that's some people believe in Cloister still. And like it's actually a really touching episode, because it's the only other cat is really old and dying, and he gets to meet Cloister himself, which is Lister, and like he's blind and he can't see, but he talks to Cloister on his deathbed. Like it's really like it's got really good things like that, where you're just like, oh, that's needlessly like nice and touching and well written in this show where it's about like the human cats and spraying piss on stuff.
Of course. No, I do really miss that late 80s, early 90s era of like really unapologetically camp sci-fi TV. Like you mentioned Smeghead, I immediately thought of like the nonsense made up swear words of Farscape with like Frel and Crack and everything. Farscape. But same thing, just like that, like the energy, the Jim Henson puppetry of all the aliens, first of all, which was amazing. But that like just willingness to be silly, to have fun. And I think you see a lot of modern sci-fi these days that is, we're the serious sci-fi show. Like we have these intelligent plot lines about like humanity and everything. And that's great. But sometimes you just want to watch a human cat person spray piss all over his belongings. So
this is something that also sets Red Dwarf apart, in that its primary thing was that it was a comedy. It was a comedy series, and that was very much what it was in. It was a sci-fi comedy series that had all this plot and lore and like amazing stuff, but like even compared to something like Farscape, which could easily be a cool thing of mine as well, Farscape was we're a science fiction television show. Red Dwarfs we're a comedy television show where the premise is science fiction. So yeah, I couldn't recommend it. Like, to Crichton, they get to the planet and he introduces them to all the lovely ladies of his crew, and it's just 3 skeletons sat around a table that he's applying lipsticks. Like, oh look, you've fallen in your soup, as one of them just collapses into the soup he's put in front of them. He's like, no, you all haven't eaten for so long.
No,
he doesn't seem to understand. He's been there for millions of years and has broken and doesn't understand the concept that they died a long time ago. Yeah. So yeah, it's a brilliant show, and that it's still sort of going to this day, like 30 something odd years later. With specials and the odd sort of one-off series, like those sort of specialist channels over here that are well, specialist channels. That makes it sound like it's a pornography channel. It's not. Channels that are like cable channels, I guess, rather than terrestrial TV channels, which is it used to be on the BBC. And there's been a few cable channels that have kind of picked it up and it's resurfaced and stuff. And there's been good ones, there's been bad ones. But there's loads of it. And I couldn't recommend Red Dwarf enough to anyone that's into the concept. If you think of Farscape, imagine if you made Farscape yourself with cardboard boxes and like bits of plastic you found on the floor. It can look a bit like that. If you go into it knowing that, you're going to have a great time. Like, I couldn't recommend it highly enough. But moving on, Xalavier, what is your cool thing this month?
Are y'all familiar with the concept of big light and little light?
No.
No. Other than broadly, but no.
Yes,
I
I am,
thought
and this
all
is
light-
hilarious.
Oh.
Yeah. This is something. There was a time before I was married that I thought all lights were the same.
And now we know what you're talking about. Okay.
You
Because
go into a
same.
room, you turn on the light switch,
And here we are.
and it's light. What I didn't realize is that that's big light and it's bad. We only turn on big light during emergencies.
Okay.
Big light is an evil and wicked thing, and it doesn't like you. Doesn't matter what light bulb you install. Fundamentally, its egalitarian approach to lighting a room is actually what's the word? It is equal, but it is not equitable. It burns with the brightness of 1,000 suns. It is a toxic thing.
Turns out.
And when you turn it on, you are attacking every single person in that room.
You didn't know that.
There is a world in which we could be cursed to live underneath the tyranny of big light. But it's not this one, because let me tell you, there's a little light, and it's called a lamp. Anytime you have a lamp, so you can use an LED strip for this. Anytime there is a little light, good. Big light, bad. The little light takes the space, and with its selective glow says, you know what? You matter. You're important. Everything's going to be okay. So I owned 0 lamps when I got married. I understood them but in a general sense as being a thing that people used to do extra lighting for a room. What I didn't realize is they were the primary lighting. And again, we have the backup emergency big light for if things go really bad.
Yeah. For when you want to see things, like, clearly, with immediacy. Like
And
that's...
now I have several more lamps. Thanks to my the education and the tastes provided by my wonderful wife. And anytime I walk into a room now and someone turns on big light, and there's a little light in the room, I'm offended. I feel like they are saying they want me out. This is a rejection.
Party's over. Yeah, like at the end of the night at the pub, it's like, right, the lights are on now, time to go. Like, yeah.
Bars
In all
understand
serious-
big light.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. In all seriousness, like the dynamic of lamps, one has extended to how I even light spaces in like Animal Crossing. I'm like, no. We need a lamp here, different shaped lamp here, little ceiling light, because that's what's gonna make this space feel intentional and cozy. The dynamic of looking at a room and saying, what is the type, shape, and size of light that makes this part different from this part and even sort of demarcates the space. I understood it in level design terms. I've lit levels like that, but I didn't understand it in daily human terms. And it now means that through the course of the night, even sort of dealing with our kiddo, the mood goes from we're awake to we're starting to transition towards sleep to we're cozy. It's just mom and dad playing bowling on the Wii. It it has created an environment where I think more intentionally about where I'm at as a person, and what I need and what I want. The unintentional self-care and the intentionality of a big light, little light mindset. You're going to see a LinkedIn post about this from me shortly. Big light, little light grind set.
Oh no, not the grind set of the big light, little light. No more little
Wait,
lights,
get
big
him,
lights.
get him,
only.
get him out of here. Help, pull him out.
I've spent too much time with the CEOs. Help me.
Oh,
No,
Smack
but
you
it's
at GDC.
I appreciate it. But no,
love.
it's been an amazing time. I love every single lamp at our home, and I don't love them equally, and that's part of why it matters. It's important. Very small
Yeah.
side tangent. It's important to
Go.
have a shit lamp. It's a lamp that you turn on that it's only rolls like, I don't really like you. We did spend $20 on you though, and like you serve this very specific function and time. It's good. I like lamps
You like
/
lamps?
little light a lot, and instead of it being existing in the binary states between light in the warm embrace of the dark at night, which is what I used to do, I probably exist in a vaguely more human state at more times now, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm so
Now-
happy for you.
That's,
Yeah.
No, I think we all kind of giggled a little bit about the big light, little light in the beginning, but now I'm just been sitting here thinking how beautiful the sentence "when I was married, I had no lamps" is going to sound in your vow renewal sometime down the road. Like it's
It is.
very romantic.
Now,
You
I
changed the
don't
way
want
I
to say
experience light and space.
Yes.
Come
that
on.
Xalavier is a man who is incredibly good with words and very good at explaining things, and is potentially also a new father who is very busy and very tired.
I mean, I'm not potentially a new father. I am, but a new father.
Well, potentially very busy and very tired, and maybe saw a lamp earlier. thought to himself,
No.
"This'll do. I can spin this."
You're saying this, but this man has been talking to me about big light, little light for like weeks
Really?
now.
Okay.
Love it.
I
He's
am
so excited
conf-
about big light,
like,
little light.
This is the thing where I'm so confident and knowledgeable of Xalavier's abilities to tell me something, to pull meaning and emotion into anything, that a small part of my head thought, I bet he could do that if he looked at a lamp 5 minutes before we started and said, "That's my cool thing. I reckon I can do it." He
I
could
spent-
and did. That's what we learned.
He definitely could.
But turns out, big light, little light, like you say, this is a theory. Because I've learned that. We had no lamps when I was growing up. There was not a lamp in my house. So it was, you turn the light on or you turn the light off. That's what you do. And so, yeah, the concept of lamps to me was very much the same. And I was resistant and not understanding in the same way. I was like, why would I want less light? This doesn't make any sense. What? And it's so much effort. Whereas with this one light, I can see, and with this, when I turn it off, I can't. That's what I want. Like, that's the only purpose of a light to me.
Yeah.
Turns out I was also wrong. Like,
I kind of feel like, thinking back now on my life with the context of everything Xalavier has just said, like, I also feel like
Look at
Big
this.
Light
He's a
has...
genius.
He
Wordsmith.
is. Like, he's changing my life. As we
Changed
speak.
your
Like,
life
You're
by
kind.
looking at a
Big
lamp
light
2
is
minutes before coming
something-
on the show. That's how good he is, people.
But, like, Big Light has negative connotations because you turn on Big Light when something's wrong, when you're like, where's my keys?
Yes.
I can't, you're looking
Find
for
with
something,
immediacy.
you need it. So, yeah.
It's the equivalent of Big Light is the equivalent of the sound that starts playing when you're drowning in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, it is. The pure dread. Like, things are bad. Like, and you best move. Like,
I think for me, big light is also like so like transient, like transitory. Of it's just like you said, where are my keys?
Yes.
I need to find this. Oh, I just got home and I need to make my way across the room to turn on my favorite lamp. Like,
Yeah.
it's not
Turn
the
this
all the time
light on.
lamp.
to find the small light. Yeah.
It's like, oh, my cat has thrown up and I don't know where it is. Like, these are the reasons I turn on big light.
Party's over. Yeah, very much. Yeah.
I guess an interesting way of putting that when you say that, Candace, is like little light is how you know you're home. When you're moving between your...
This is why he gets the big money.
I know. I'm just sitting there like, the Guardian's going to write about this podcast next week, and I know it. And I'm going to read it and go, they're right. They're right. Like,
No, say the thing you were saying, because that was very sweet, actually.
It was, yeah.
Little light is how you know you're home. You are surrounded by big lights and the sun itself, just a giant old big light. I live in the desert, and it is sometimes needlessly insistent. It's just there. It's just banging on the door, on the windows, on the ceiling. It is a relentless friend and enemy, and. Little light is not just sort of control. It is soft. That is how you know you have entered your space with the people you care about to continue with your day. So it has gotten to the point where I've started to say, "Hey, can we get a lamp for this? Like, yes, we could be turning." At night, we sometimes we turn on the hall light, sometimes we don't, and it activates like 4 lights in a strip because it's all the hall lights at the same time to help lull the baby to bed. And I'm like, what if we put a lamp in the hallway?
However,
And we like plugged it in.
Sounds
and, we had
like-
a little light for this.
Have you started getting into the thing where you have lamps that have timers on them?
No, I haven't got. Have you experienced this?
Oh, that's like my living room, like childhood living room lamp is like, it turns on at like 5 p.m. and it turns off at like 1 a.m. And that's just how it
Perfect.
do. And so
Yeah.
like when that
feels
lamp
scary to me.
turns
That feels
off,
like a time limit.
well, when that
Yeah,
lamp
but-
turns off, it's a nice like physical
Bedtime now.
reminder of, it's like,
Yeah.
hey, it's late. You should probably think about going to bed.
yeah, like you know it's 1 a.m. now. You're like, oh, the lamp's gone off. I am up late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At this, okay, turning back around, I think that's a little lamp that feels like it's judging me. I don't know if I.
You set
I
the
know
time. If you want it
that's
to
it. You
go
ask
off
it
at
to.
7 a.m., that's
Yeah,
fine.
like it's not judging
You're
you.
in
It's
control
doing
of
what you
this.
wanted. It's like turning off now because you asked me to turn off at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like it's.
But if it turns off that way, like maybe it's been a late night. There's been things that
So
have
set
been
it
happening.
later.
It turns off mid conversation. I'm not thinking about little light. Little light is just there, and it gets turned on and it gets turned off, and it's part of the routine of moving through the house and turning off the nice little lights. If
Live
it
your
turns
truth,
off
my
mid conversation,
friend. Live
Yeah.
your truth.
I'm gonna fucking obliterate that lamp with a heat laser.
Oh,
It is a.
The
It is
sun.
a. I mean,
Wait a
yes.
minute.
That's a way you could torture a lamp. You just take a little magnifying glass and you hold it
power
like, to
of
the
the
sun,
sun.
and
Yeah.
you say, "This is a better light than you'll ever be."
Guys, I
And
think
then
we
it
went
just
too far.
drills
I think we're
into it.
losing him. Guys.
this multiple nuclear
I think-
cores
I
exploding
think
in
he's
space
onto
forever.
something. No, I am just remembering the old IKEA commercial when I was a little kid that shows the person with their desk lamp, and they get a new desk lamp and they throw it out, and it's like sad music is playing, and it's
Yeah.
like shot from the curb where the old lamp sits in the rain, and the camera perspective shifts to see you can like look up at the child whose desk that the little lamp used to light, sitting there with the new lamp, and then this like scientist walks into frame and maintains eye contact with you and goes, "You are feeling sorry for the lamp. This is because you are crazy. It is just a lamp."
I wouldn't like any moment of that. I'd be sad. I am a person that I was a young child when Toy Story came out, and I feel that had an effect on me for my entire life. In that, what if it's alive and has feelings is something that always, forever, about all objects can ease. The minute I think it,
Well,
I
they
think
do.
it. You don't know. You don't know. What if the lamp does? What if when I leave the room, the lamp has a little life? I don't know. So I'd be like, because it might, and you don't know, scientist. So we have to just look after it and keep it. And if not, we have to do a weird ceremony in our head where we transfer its essence and soul into the new lamp. And now we know that
what
the
if the
new
new
lamp
lamp-
is filled with the old lamp,
That's
and
body
it's
armor
fine.
for lamps, though.
Yeah,
What's
what if
that?
what if the new lamp also had a soul?
The
and
new
you're just,
lamp is empty in the thing it's a vessel that I have invented. It develops its personality slowly over time via proximity to me. That is how it exists.
I have definitely purchased lamps and pieces of furniture that had an inherent energy.
Yeah, maybe. That's it. Sometimes they've got it. But, like, I'm thinking in this instance where the IKEA thing is brand new, in my head, I justify that and go, this is a vessel in which I will fill it with.
I will pour
the
lamp into
essence
this
and
lamp.
soul into it. Therefore, the old shell of lamp could go in the bin, but it lives on in this new lamp.
You know,
Like-
that's exactly what the Skeksis did to the Gelflings in the Dark Crystal. I'm
is.
just saying.
Exactly.
And I didn't know what neurodivergence was, but I rapidly found out as I got older that these things are part of that. So now I know.
The next Strange Scaffold game is going to be so weird, y'all.
Yeah. Chris has
Anyway.
things that he thinks, but
Lamps are good, and
good.
I've just learned that it's actually a spectrum because there's big light in the middle. There's little light at one side, and at the other end is judgmental little light.
Oh, I thought he was going to go with the sun. I was going to say that's the
That's
other
the
side.
other
Sure.
end.
Yeah, that's the other end. That's the intergalactic big light. Yeah.
I'm glad you have a positive relationship with the lamp on a timer. My entire body's now filled with stress just thinking about it and anger.
I was
It's
so
judging
relaxed
me.
by the concept.
It's
As soon
racist.
as- yeah,
It's a racist little lamp.
that's it. That's it.
Nope, I'm not
Now,
gonna make
this
that
soul
joke.
you've put into
Okay.
this lamp is purely your own. Like, it's not, don't put this on the lamp. Like,
And you know what? If you pour that lamp soul into another lamp, both of the lamps are now racist because a
oh
little
no!
bit of that racist essence remains. It's a toxic, clinging sludge.
Oh no! What have we done?
Get a lamp or
This
an
is why we
LED
have
strip.
to destroy the sun. I knew it. Like it's
All making sense now. It's all coming together.
A
all
lamp or an
coming together.
LED strip in your space, even at a very low cost, will absolutely improve your experience and approach to that space. Believe you me, it's little light good, big light bad.
You want to know
Yeah.
an interesting thing about Little Light that is like hyper specific to theater?
Please.
Yes.
Is there's a lot of lighting designers I know who are very frustrated by contemporary light bulbs because in the past, when you turn off a light, it stops. Like if you have a practical light, like you have a lamp on stage
There's a
and you cut the
filament.
power, it just stops.
Yes.
It's off. LEDs take a second to kind of simmer down. And it
Really?
is ruining lighting designers' whole shit. It's so funny, but it's so upsetting.
Oh, they have to account for that timing.
They
now
I
do.
never thought
to
of that.
to
They
have a
do.
dramatic moment where the lights go out or
Yes.
the room changes. You've got to change your whole shit. I never
Yeah.
thought about that. You've got to be like, I'm so used to I know exactly when to do things to now I've got to learn it again.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Can you have a person in a black morph suit who's just known as the light goblin, and they like put a little
Morph
shutter over. They put a little shutter over the light to create the instant light drop.
You joke, but that is kind of just the solution for projections. If you want all the light to cut out for a projector, you have a little flap that you drop that's just called a dowser, and that's easier than doing actual blackout.
It's easier than
love
just
it.
doing what you used to do, which was just turn it off. Oh, lighting people must hate new light bulbs.
It's so
like you've made my
frustrating.
life worse. Like I had an art and I was good at it, and now I have to cheapen it with dowsers. Like it's
And like
terrible.
if you have like a period piece, so like anything
Yeah.
before 2000 basically,
No use.
then you can't Like the LED lights literally just look out of time. Like it's a genuine thing where like whenever I still find the rare non-LED light bulb, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I gotta save this one.
Little filament bulb turns up. Yeah, you're like, ooh. This makes light by burning a piece of metal constantly. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. And it turns
Also,
off.
how video games are made, but the metal is people.
The metal is people. Yeah. it's how we do it
We
in the
scream and
industry.
cry. So yeah, there's my fun fact.
Let's
about
hope we
theatrical
all make
lighting.
a hit before we get old. That's the dream. But we'll find out how that pans out. Much like the ever-burning sun that will eventually stop, we must move on to Candace.
Yay! What?
Well, we will. Like once
What
that
a
runs out,
vibe!
you gotta go somewhere. Like you need that sun.
Really,
but like
really
it's,
helped me bring the party here, Chris.
anytime. Candace, what is your cool thing this month?
All right. So my cool thing this month, because we're basically monthly now. That's exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
My cool thing is, it's gonna sound boring, but I'm so excited about it. Is RSS feeds.
I am so excited about RSS
I
feeds as
love
well.
RSS feeds so much.
This has been such a good month. I've had the most boring pick. It's a TV show and everything else has been... Right, Candace, RSS feeds. I am incredibly into it immediately, like all of them.
Gosh.
I see the little symbol on some pages and they scare me, so I'm excited to have someone explain it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Welcome
welcome.
to... Our medium exists that we are in right now thanks to the RSS feed.
Indeed. So many people
Yeah.
are scared of RSS feeds because they're like, wow, it looks like I've entered the Matrix when I click on this link. You're not supposed to
does.
click on that link.
No, never
It's-
click on... The RSS link is not for you.
It is not
It's-
for you.
it's
It is for
computers.
computer. It is for robot. RSS feeds are how podcasts work. It is RSS stands for really simple syndication, and yes, I know that technically they're Atom feeds now and not RSS. Don't at me.
You're talking about the pure-hearted concept that we all know and love, and it
Yes.
is an RSS feed.
Get over it. But RSS feeds, really simple syndication. They are literal, just chronological feeds for a page or a particular like type of post on a page. My RSS feed reader of choice is just called FeedBro, and it's a little extension that I have on my Firefox thing that
It's a good one.
logs everything. I think I can't remember when I first started getting into like checking RSS feeds and adding them, but I do know that one of the first things I started doing once I figured out I could is YouTube channels have RSS feeds. For a very long time, YouTube would email you when there was a new upload on a particular channel that you had your subscription settings for. So like anytime like this channel that posts every like 6 months and I forget about otherwise uploads, I would get an email and be like, perfect, I'm not gonna miss it. And then they got rid of that, and I was like, well, great.
When you have a good time. Don't
A lot of people like just removing their RSS feeds, and it makes me very
Yeah.
sad.
can't advertise on an RSS feed easily, can
No, you can't. There are no ads in an RSS feed,
Mm-hmm.
because it's literally just the post. It is a reader that lets you like say, "Hey, I only want to see this kind of post, or I want to see every post from this website, updating however many times as you dictate it into my RSS feed." I want you to save 5 maximum if it's a frequent one, or I want you to save every single thing that they ever post, and so I can go find it later. So YouTube channels have them. I have it for most of the like big YouTube channels I like to follow, as well as Nebula, because I'm now mostly watching stuff on Nebula, which is great.
I keep meaning to do that.
It's
Look
good.
into it.
Look that up.
It's good. A lot of like big name YouTubers like have moved to Nebula because it's a ad-free model that is like subscription based. So I use it for stuff like YouTube. I use it for stuff like podcasts. So like anytime a podcast episode updates and you have like it in your little like podcast app or whatever you listen to with, other than Spotify technically, because Spotify is weird, but Spotify is actually reading an RSS feed. It just doesn't let you look at it.
It's how they get it from us.
Yep. So it's literally just you post, hey, here's the thing I want to be updated, and it goes to every RSS feed whenever the person who has like made their settings work to bring it in. So I use it for videos, but I also use it for blogs. I use it for Wikipedia. Wikimedia has like daily photos that they put up, so I like get to see whatever fun, weird thing Wikipedia has decided to show the universe every day. I use it for my local Reddit so that I can just like browse and be like, oh, okay, there's a water main break on this street, and I can avoid that. Cool.
And you don't have to check the thing every day or multiple times a day. You just sort of check into your RSS feed, and it
Yes.
contains all the things that
All the
you
things.
love, need, or want to care about.
Yes.
And then it shuttles you out to the individual sites rather than social media, which just says, just look at this social media feed. You'd never have to leave it.
Correct.
No. Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
You-
that's
you are there.
great.
And
you don't
it's
even
exportable.
have to go to the site if you don't want to.
Yeah,
Like,
their full
yeah.
text RSS feeds are a big thing. So I also use it for media sites. So stuff like Aftermath, which is a fantastic
Brilliant site.
publication.
Great site.
I'm a subscriber.
Same as jank.cool, which is a newer one, which I know you just wrote on Xalavier.
Yeah, that's why I know about it. Yeah,
It
'cause
popped
I
up on my
reposted
RSS
it.
feed.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
What's the other one? Defector is another big one that I really love. And I think the one that like really kicked off. So a lot of these sites used a platform called Ghost for their posts, and a lot of them have RSS feeds because of that, and a lot of them have full text RSS feeds because 404 Media, which is I think one of my favorite things to follow on my RSS feed, which is a fantastic like tech culture, how the internet affects the world. Really hard reporting. It's really wonderful. But they now have full text support in their RSS feed, so you literally don't even need to go to the website.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wow.
it's so good. Like, and I use it for so many things. I have it for. I mean, I love watching videos off of it. I love having all my different. You can subscribe to Blue Skies. Individual Blue Skies have RSS feeds. So there's some people, I'm not on social media. There's a handful of people I do follow technically on social media because I have their Blue Sky as an RSS feed.
That's cool.
I don't want to go into full conspiracy mode, but it feels like part of the reason that RSS feeds have been even sort of framed as so scary is because it gives you control over your experience with the internet, and it actively encourages an intentional engagement with the internet that's probably not as profitable
Yep.
for a lot of people in control of different things.
That's not even a conspiracy. That's just true. Like,
I was going to say that is the reason that RSS feeds, they blew up for a little bit, where particularly when podcasts first got big, because RSS feeds were immediately adopted by Apple then themselves to be like, well, this is the medium of distribution for podcasts, and anyone can easily use an RSS feed and set them up. But yeah, you can't, unless you want to feed adverts into your RSS feed, there isn't really any way to do it. And yeah, I will let you continue to talk about RSS feeds because I could talk about RSS feeds.
no,
for
I mean,
ages as
look,
well.
that's what Cool Things Club is for, is both of us going, ah!
I know. Like, people that follow our Blue Sky and see the podcast post will see that I always post the same selection of links of you can find it in all the podcast places, and it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, which is annoying because I have to upload it as a video and I have to put it there, and then they insist on making their own RSS feed from there. And I always post the link to our RSS feed. Not many people, I always look and I'm like, not many people really utilize it, but I've got it and it's there. So I'm like, well, if you want to just put it into whatever, that's why I always say it's wherever you find podcasts, because you can just paste this link into your RSS podcast thing of choice, and this podcast will show up with all the correct information and everything. And yeah, I love it. It is we made this joke just the other day where we were talking about how horrible some things on the internet were. And I was like, I would love to just pull us back into, we have a website, a blog, some forums, and we aggregate all of those things for RSS feeds. We can host the videos on our own website, ourselves.
Yep.
I would love that. And I know it's just not the way that people use the internet, but I am finding more and more, you mentioning RSS feeds and how much you enjoy them there. I'm like, more and more people are going back to this. Like, it's like people are discovering these things and going,
It's like the
I
people
hate
who are going back
these.
to forums now.
I love
Yes.
forums. I love them so much.
It was a system that worked. Like, it
Take
was
me back
fine.
to being able to have the big sparkly anime GIF, like
my
my
signature?
those
Yeah.
days.
We can do
Gotta
it.
get my signature right.
Yeah, no, I I am just like, it's been really fascinating hearing you talk about RSS feeds, because I knew of them, but I didn't really know their value and function as much. And I'm thinking how when I grew up and I started to become more active and everything on the internet, to me, I was like, that was a webcomic thing. Like all the webcomics I followed were always like, follow our RSS feeds. And that was, in the Keen Spot days back when, everything was very centralized. And I still do see it around, but it's funny, hearing you talk about this thing that in the back of my brain is always like, oh, it's that thing that webcomics use primarily. It has so much other functions and use.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you mentioned like all the websites that use it. I know Mothership, I think, also have their own RSS feed.
So.
Like really good new gaming blog that's come out. I know I've been a long time reader of The Verge. They have their own RSS feed. A lot of places are smartly doing them as well, where it's like, if you subscribe to our site, which again, more and more people are doing, like following this model where it's like, I found a place with good journalism. They offer for normally quite a reasonable price for a year, the ability to read everything they do and also support the existence of their site. And normally within those subscriptions, you will find, and you have access to our RSS feed. So from their perspective as well, it's like, well, we're not losing out on any ad revenue that we will maybe get from people that read a bit, but also for you, the paying subscriber, if you don't want to engage with how awful the internet is now, put it into your RSS reader and you can just read it in your own time as you want, like exactly as you want it delivered to you as it comes out. And yeah, it's if I could take us back and put us on all these things, and we are slowly, just because I feel that people are moving that way, and I can see it moving that way, and I'm like, the audience that we have are people that tend to be concerned about these things, which I think is why we have such a bigger following on Blue Sky than many developers. Well, not many developers, but a lot of developers don't even engage with it, or when they do, they don't find a lot of success. But I think our audience is a very switched on internet audience, and they are.
You can just say terminally online. That's okay, Chris.
People that were like all of us that were terminally online and have seen online become so horrible and not terrible but we'd like to be online, but it's bad now, so we're looking for new solutions.
Well, that's one of the really interesting things, and that relates also to what Xalavier was just saying. It's like, I think that's why it's been framed as being so scary.
Yes,
is so much people are like, oh gosh, I miss the old internet. I don't know, why did all these things leave? And the crazy thing is, they didn't. Like, they're still here, they're still functional. Candy Box is still a playable game. Like, these are all still functional technologies, and I dare say I think they'll be functional for a very long time, because a lot of our infrastructure for other things that people really enjoy and use often is built on top of them. So they're not going 100%. Anywhere.
Yeah, it's crazy that also, and it's as someone that also has a big background in live streaming as well as podcasting, like the billion-dollar industries are built off of the back of something that no one can own. Like it's as much as podcasts are now that's people sitting with big microphones like we are now, but on sofas, and that's what a podcast is. And it's like, have you heard about this thing in the news? I'm a man and I'm not happy about it. Like it can be that, and it is built on top of something that nobody owns, in exactly the same way that I mentioned live streaming, because live streaming, forever people have tried to make the software be something that you pay for, but nobody could beat the open source OBS. Without OBS, you would not have, like, I guarantee you things like Capcom Cup and the massive League of Legends finals and everything, they're using OBS like to make that broadcast happen, and that is free software that nobody owns, and so it's just available to everyone, and no corporate interest has managed to buy it from anyone. Like, it's just managed to maintain existence via, in OBS's case, donations from people that want to keep it going, from even companies that want to keep it going because it's so successful. And with RSS, it just being a thing that can sustain itself, like it's just free and there, and it doesn't require anyone doing anything. And like you say, it looks confusing. If you, like you say, you click on an RSS link
Don't do
thinking
it.
you're going to get a website. Yeah, you're not. Like you're going to get a lot of letters and numbers that are very confusing. But that's not what you do. You paste that link into something like a reader that are normally, then also sometimes not free. Like sometimes you get really good ones that you'll pay a bit
Get
of
a
money
free
for.
one.
But you can get a free one. That's the
Yeah.
other part of it. There's plenty of free ones. And yeah, I really do think a lot of people that are in our bracket, and I do think a lot of people that are in our, like, that are younger, that are coming up as well, are seeing the landscape of the internet as it is now and are yearning for the ideas and ideals of what we just got when we were younger, which was, I'll build my own website and it will be about the really niche thing that I want, and I will do that, and that's what I do. And nobody has any control over that at all. Like, and I don't and that's what I did. Like,
I'm
I
a
think
really
there's a
big
lot of appeal in
advocate.
that.
I'm a really big advocate of of being able to pick up your stuff and move. That is something.
So you were saying earlier that you can export your RSS feed.
Yes.
If you want to hit the bricks on.
Yeah,
a
if you don't
reader.
like this reader, you can just export. I think it's your OMPL file, I think is what it is.
I believe so.
When I switched browsers, because I used to use Chrome, and then I was like, oh god, now I use Firefox.
We all use something else except when we have to use software like this
Like
that forces us to use Chrome.
Yeah, when I did that, I exported that file, and then I imported it into a new RSS reader, and everything was there in the folder that I wanted, like in the order I wanted. Like, obviously, some stuff that like was loaded a year ago probably wasn't there, but that's not built to do that anyway, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
But
it all works as it did, though. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do anything different. Like, it's like, I've got all the information I was getting before because it's just code, like, ultimately, that's supported by the site and you.
yeah, corporate interests are very invested in telling people that the internet is a walled garden. It's not. It's a huge forest, and you should be able to run around in it.
Heck yeah.
It's a walled garden because all the servers are owned by these companies, but people forget that in the past you could make a website and you could just put it on your computer. If you were happy to leave the internet on all the time, which was cost prohibitive and not possible, but one could have a Raspberry Pi and just have a website running away.
I mean,
and as long as loads of people don't visit it at once,
I
you're fine.
very much remember back in the day of everybody being able to have their own website as well in a way that is way more free than now. Like Angel Fire, like NeoCities, which I know is still around.
That's
like
what my website's on.
yeah, and that used to just be everybody had a website. Everybody had a website about their little thing. I might have had a website about Dragon Ball Z back in the day. I will never confirm nor deny. But
Here
you
we
know,
are.
I really hope, to what you're talking about more people picking up things like RSS feeds and like owning more of their experience. I would love to see more people just like having their own website about whatever they want. Like it's important to have your own space in the big forest and visit everybody else's trees once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the future. I am moving us towards slowly, but like I would love to just be able to ignore all sensible moves and just go, you know what? It's all just going on our website. Like if I was a Capcom, I would be like, I'm not going to use any of this anymore. You know why? Because I've got Resident Evil. Like people are going to want to see Resident Evil. They want to play Street Fighter. They like Mega Man. I'm just going to put it on my website, actually, and then it's all just going to be there. Like, it's fine. So, yeah, that, I think, a brilliant, cool thing, because it's such a great little piece of technology. I've never looked into who made it or, like, where it came from. Like, with OBS, because I worked at a live streaming company, like, I met some of the people that made OBS and like all sorts of like I worked for a company called XSplit. They were kind of you could pay for XSplit, but they were one of the only companies that weren't, and I haven't worked there for so long, so I can happily say all of these things, and it's common knowledge. I think it became through time. Many companies would take OBS and its open sourceness and then just put something on top of it and then start charging money for it. And we all the people at XSplit that were engineers knew, because they could look at it and go, that's just OBS. XSplit was made of a thing that they made themselves. So it was separate, which is a thing that they did. And
it turns out when the thing that is free just starts getting better and better, you can't really compete with it. But that's a tale of time and thing. But yeah, OBS, I met some of the dudes that made it, and I weirdly at a TwitchCon during a situation where a company had clearly taken OBS, put something on top of it, and said, "This is our thing now." And we were stood there going, "That's not their thing now. Like, this is your thing." Like, but yeah, with RSS, I'm like, I don't know who made it. I don't know, so I really should look into all that stuff.
It's interesting. I mean,
Genuinely
it goes back to
fascinating.
the 90s and early 2000s.
Of course it does. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm going
like,
to choose to believe that it was a genetically modified cat who's sitting underneath
Yeah.
a lamp playing Candy Box.
I
that
think
was
so.
it.
That's my
Yeah,
headcanon.
it tied it all together perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah. Magnifique.
I'm looking now in our section of please ask us questions, and there was a question
Oh.
that I think has actually been answered. It was about turtles, and someone is pointing them actually to Amanda's talk at GDC that is answering the question of the how and the why of ending up with turtles. But we could talk about that if you guys want to.
Yeah.
Well, the question is from Jackie Boy on Discord, and they asked, was going through Steam, and they are. We've had a lovely thing has happened a couple of times recently where someone comes in and off of the back of the game, which I Am Your Beast, I believe, in this instance. And we get a few people that come in from I Am Your Beast that then go, I loved I Am Your Beast. What else is there? And I now have had the fun time of just walking people through the catalogue. And I believe Jackie Boy is one of those people. And they're asking, I'm looking at your games, and I saw that you had a TMNT game. I have questions about how you got that and what working with a license, given the heavier nature of a lot of Strange Scaffolds work. But if there's already an interview or someone's already asked that, could I be pointed that way? Someone points them to, which GDC will have been and gone, unfortunately, by the time you hear this. But Manda, the executive producer on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tactical Takedown, is giving a talk at GDC about doing Turtles. And I might hopefully be able to see that. I don't know. I'm not sure.
If
how
we're
that will
lucky, it'll
exactly
go
work.
on their YouTube channel.
That's what we're hoping. So hopefully you guys will be able to see it. But which gave me an idea the other day, which is an aside, but ties
Bootleg
very
recording
much...
on a phone.
No, not recording.
And then
on a
we
phone.
upload it on our YouTube channel.
I would like if people want to give talks, I would like us to be able to record them and then put them on our own website. And
Like we've done a few times inside the studio.
It would be nice.
exactly that, but for a GDC style thing. But we can just go, would you like to give a talk about a thing? You can just do it here, and I can then put it on our website, and people can watch them for free. That's
A little sidebar for us later. Back to the
it
question.
is. Yeah, but to the question, I guess they're asking, like, how did we come about getting the license for Turtles, and what was it like, I guess, to work on Turtles? As I said, given the heavier nature of a lot of your titles, implied within that, I imagine, was it a difficult sell, or was it anything like that to go, well, we just came off of Life Eater, we'd like to make Turtles? Like, is that, like, anything difficult that you found or anything like that?
Yeah, so the way it came about was actually through Bass Reeves. I was like, I was so
For those that
excited
don't
know.
Check out Noodle's video on Bass Reeves Can't Die. That would be
Yeah,
my-
Bass Reeves Can't Die. The game that didn't happen, but that we loved until we couldn't keep working on it anymore, and we still love. I was so excited to explore Bass Reeves one day, and I was like, no one else really cares about Bass Reeves. I'm gonna do something one day. This is gonna be this is my bucket list item. And then Watchmen did a little thing with Bass Reeves. I'm like, that's cool. That's a nod, but it's not a full thing about Bass Reeves. My spot hasn't been blown up. And then the creators of Yellowstone announced they're gonna do a full miniseries about Bass Reeves. I'm like, that's cool, but fuck. That is a big 500-pound gorilla, 8-ton gorilla, more like, who's approaching this story, and that might make it more difficult to make something about this person who's still one of my few genuine heroes. But when someone that big steps into a space, the quiet thing that people don't tell you is that opens up the opportunity for more people to do it, because corporations are scared, And if they hear about something that quote unquote no one cares about, but is a really cool opportunity, they're like, oh, but who knows if that's like worth doing? And then a different big company does it, and they're like, or something makes a lot of money, and they go like, hell yeah, we would love to get on board with this underappreciated icon. I got put in touch with the folks who were over at Paramount at the time, who were over the Bass Reeves project, and talked about a potential either collaboration or even sort of a reskin of Bass Reeves Can't Die to tie in more with the stuff that was happening with the TV series, or partner or collaboration DLC. I hit it off really well with the at the time SVP of New Media, which was an interactive projects, which was Doug Rosen. And after looking at sort of the conditions around it, we were like, man, it's gonna be really tricky to do this Bass Reeves thing, but we want to do something together. So every few months we'd get back together and say, is there something yet? And at a certain point, he just sort of set me, as Chris said, a big, or I think it was a Candace, the big old menu, and was just like, is there anything here you would like? And we just sort of talked through over an hour, like different possibilities. And at one point I saw Turtles, and I opened up in another browser tab. I shared my screen. I opened up in another browser tab, Teenage Demon Slayer Society, and showed some GIFs. And I was like, we could do this with Turtles. And his eyes like lit up like a kid looking at this thing under a Christmas tree. And I was like, okay, I think this might actually work. So to make a long story short, some personal connections and kismet resulting in an entirely different collaboration years down the road, which has been a very common part of how things have happened in my life, and some of the amazing collaborations I've had over the years. That is how Turtles happened. And we were terrified that because we were doing, among other things, clickolding at the same time. Eventually, Turtles might, the folks over at Turtles might raise a red flag and go like, "Hey, either have we made a mistake, or what the hell are y'all doing?
We hadn't looked.
Ninja Turtles."
Yeah, we're waiting for them to like go, hang on, we just looked under this rock. Like,
especially
no, don't look under the rock.
at one point we were doing like news beats within 2 weeks of each other for both Clickholding and TMNT, and then all the journalist articles were like, from the creators of Clickholding, TMNT. I'm like, don't point that out, please.
Come on, man. Don't tell them. Come on, man.
Be like that.
Yeah.
But to the credit of everyone there, they came in really eyes wide open and with a desire to work with unique creators and sort of accept us on our own terms. So the heavier subject material and the other things that were happening at the studio didn't end up being a problem with Turtles. They were just like, as long as you don't put Clickholding inside of TMNT, we should be good to go. And I will forever be grateful for that, because literally I had been spending a half decade at that point talking to different indie publishers saying, for Strange Scaffold to be able to do the thing that it is so good at doing with you, we need to have a business structure and a deal structure and an understanding that reflects that. And I got no and it was like it slid right off of I could see the idea slide right off of their brains as we were talking. And talking to Paramount, explaining where our games come from, not just what we made and what it had achieved, getting validated that like they saw it. Indie publisher number 3 didn't see it, but multinational corporations, CBS, Viacom, and the folks who were there and are there got us and didn't think that I was crazy. It was a really necessary and pleasant thing to encounter at a time when I really needed it.
Yeah, dude, it was really cool. It was really weird as well. Like, I remember being in meetings with like, and it would be like, hello, we're senior marketing people in Paramount and Nickelodeon. we are now talking to our equivalent at Strange Scaffold, and it's just like me. So it's like, hello, like, I'm English and strange. Like, here I am. please enjoy my thoughts on what we should do. Like,
English
but they
and
were great.
strange.
Like, they were, yeah. Like,
You gotta put that
that's how it
that,
began.
that little clip on a business card.
Yeah, that was it. Like, hello.
Ask me about Red Dwarf.
But yeah, they were great. Like they were all great to work with, and like you say, they all seemed to. They had a level of faith in what we were doing that you didn't necessarily expect, like based on it being like a big corporation giving you a thing that's like done very well for them for decades. Like, like you don't imagine that they're gonna go like, yeah, okay, you can do the thing. Not a spoiler because it's like the very intro, and it's like, oh, Splinter and Shredder are dead? Sure, you can do that. Like, go for it. Like, why not? Small studio that's making a video game, but will undoubtedly be making a video game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that has all our logos on it and everything. Like, yeah, go for it. You can do that. You wouldn't expect that. You would expect like this is what you're going to do. Like, we are down for you to make your, you're down to make your tactical experience, but like, here is the conditions of doing Turtles, which was not necessarily what we were met with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice collaboration.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question.
Yeah, and speaking of a nice collaboration, it's been great talking to all of you today. So thank you for joining me here in the Cool Things Club. And we will wrap things up there. But
yeah, make sure you go take a nap.
There you go. I was about to say that there is one thing.
I know my cue.
That we must do.
I had a nightmare that I didn't say it.
Thank you for listening to the Strange Scaffold Cool Things Club. If you've enjoyed it, as ever, please leave a review wherever you're listening to podcasts and tell a mate, tell a friend. Why not? That's a good way to spread things. We're talking about RSS feeds and more of the old school internet. Go on a forum and tell some people about it. We don't have loads of clips of us sitting in a room with big microphones, so, all the help we can get. Greatly appreciated. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator is out now on Xbox Series X and S. We have Xalavier's Talk from PAX East, which is up on PAX's YouTube channel. Definitely worth checking out. And yeah, I think that's us for now. We'll be back next month with another Cool Things Club. And see you on all the social places. Join us on Discord. Why not? Follow us on things if you're not already. We're on Blue Sky a lot. We post there quite a bit, but we're trying to do more and more. Xalavier's on TikTok. I just saw, like, if you're listening to this the day it comes out, like literally within hours of it coming out, he's posting a very good TikTok today about a game we've got coming up soon called Truck Kun is Supporting Me from Another World. It's got a question mark and an exclamation mark at the end. So go and look at that. It's going to be very good. We saw a bit of 3D art posted and I was like, this needs to fucking be a thing. But yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you next month. Take care of yourselves.